we come to tender submission, right? Let's go. What are all the things that will be available on the tender submission? Have a look at it once again. Let's just see. Tender submission, locking of tender submission at the designated time and date. Price tender is encrypted if it is going to be on a, what is called, on an online mode. Can somebody tell me what are all the things that normally we should take care on submission of tender? Can somebody get into that, please? Yeah. Tender submission, what all we are supposed to see? That's what I'm asking. There should be a designated date and time for tender submission. Yes or no? See, you can, when you are asking for tender, there should be an end date for submission of the tender. Yes or no?
Right.
Yes, sir.
So the designated time, date, and time should be definitely available in the tender system. Otherwise, you will get into a real tamasha. Okay. So normally, how does it goes into that tender submission? How do you do that? Tender submission, can somebody explain to me? How does it work? Tender submission? What is the tender sub? Normally, when you have a tender submission and date and time. So, and when you have a date and time, then you will have a tender opening time also, isn't it? What should be the normal duration between the tender submission and tender opening? Any suggestion? Normally, what it should be?
Then this maybe depends upon the tender. Sometimes immediate, maybe 10 o'clock is a tender last date or time. Maybe 11 o'clock they will open.
Okay.
Same day.
Yeah. Why it should be dependent on tender? Suppose my submission is, let us say, 9th August at 3 o'clock in the evening or 11 o'clock in the morning. Then can I open the tender after 8 days? Is it all right? That is what I'm asking. Normally, what you say, Mr. Vadivel, normally we give about 30 minutes time. Then there will be a tender boxes, all of you must be knowing. In many companies, we have tender boxes and all. We put the tender and it is sealed exactly at, let's say, 3 o'clock. So somebody comes and then seals the box so that no more tender can be submitted into the box. And 3:30, whoever vendor who may opt to present himself or their representative with a letter, they can be present when we open the tender box. Normally, we try to open it in presence of vendor or vendor representative, because in the RFQ itself we say tender submission will be on the last date of the tender submission is 9th August 2022 at 15 hours. By whatever means you are going to ask for the tender, and the tender will be opened on 9th August 2022 at 15:30 hours in presence of those vendors or their representatives who may choose to be present. We cannot compel them, that you should be present. That is not possible. So we tell them, in case you want to be present, you are most welcome to be present. And when they come, we take an attendance from them that they were present, and in their presence only the tender were opened. That is what they will sign and give to us. This is the procedure for tender opening. So the company should have the organization, the Audit organization should have a procedure for opening, for submission of tender, and how they are going to do the opening, which we will see immediately after this, right? And the tender submission, date, time, are supposed to submit the tender and in which form, whether it should be in the physical form or whether it is an encrypted, or if you are in the any of the ERP platform and in SAP SRM, you are fully on the SRM, you can submit the tender and nobody can go and see the tender till the tender opening date and the time is available, and the system will open the lock at that point. So as an auditor, if there is going to be an ERP implemented system, you are going to go and do an audit. We should see whether the system allows for the tender to be opened only at the designated date and time. If that is not happening, you will not ask the fellows, show me what is the configuration that you have done. Otherwise, what will happen? There can be a lot of hidden activities can go on. And on a physical tender, this should not be possible because we close the tender box, and even 1 minute late, if somebody comes to submit the tender, it should not be allowed. The system should not allow, because that is how the organization should work. So the tender submission, there should be a date and the time, and should be given in the RFQ itself. Request for quotation should say how is my tender should be given and how it should work. That is what it should be available. Okay. And if it is going to be an online tender, whether the price tender is encrypted, that means that should be an encryption so that nobody will be able to see the price before the technical specification are cleared and the technical committee has cleared for opening of the price bid after choosing the party if is technically qualified. Okay, this is how it is. Any particular observation or anything from anyone, please, on this aspect, on tender submission aspect? Anyone?
So now it is 5G tender is going on. How it is implemented, sir?
Please. I thought I will discuss this on tender opening or even an RFQ. Okay, fine, no issue. See, normally, if it is going to be tenders of this kind of thing or any of that, you talked about a bus or whatever it is, isn't it? I'm not talking about the proprietary. When you go for open tender or limited tender at all, we should have it's called a two-part tender, or sometimes we call it as a three-part tender. Okay, three-part means first part will be EMD. EMD, I think all of you must be knowing, earnest money deposit. Why earnest money deposit? If the tenderer is really earnestly wanting to do business with us. Otherwise, everybody will put a tender, he will put the lowest rate, you place order on him, then he doesn't supply, you are into trouble. So normally what happens, the company has got a policy based on the value of the services or material that you are going to procure. That should be the earnest money deposit. Normally on a LTE cases, we don't use it because they are all known customers, known vendors. LTE normally we don't. And single tender, so you ask him to give EMD, so he is not going to give because you are at his mercy. Proprietary also, it is the same thing. Normally it happens in the open tender inside. Now, three-part means first part is EMD, second part is technical specification, third part is price bid. Okay, on the techno-commercial bid, the second one it is called, because you would have given so many conditions, so they have to agree to all those conditions. If they are, suppose out of the 6 tenderers, 5 are not agreeing, then you will have to call all the 5 of them, send messages to them, ask them to agree. Otherwise, you might have to change the condition and inform all the 6 people. Or in the open tender means you will have to give a cognizance of saying that I am changing my terms like that and all. Now, whoever has submitted EMD only, the techno-commercial bid will be open. Otherwise, the complete bid will be summarily rejected. So if there is no EMD, you are not going to entertain the tender at all. That is the idea of an earnest money deposit. So this is how it works. Now, when a techno-commercial bid is open, then we see some people, there is a committee will be there. The commercial aspect will be seen by a set of people. Maybe the same techno-commercial people will be there, but then it's a multidisciplinary committee. So what happens whether you had asked for a 3 years balance sheet, you had asked for this, that, so many steps, this one, your turnover should be this, and all these are all commercial aspects. When it comes to the technical aspect, whether they are technically, you would have given a lot of specification on the technical side. So whether they are fulfilling all those technical specification and whether they are technically strong, whether the organization has got that kind of a manpower, that kind of an expertise, all these things are checked up in the techno-commercial part, the second part. So one, suppose EMD, somebody is rejected because they have not given the EMD at all. And techno-commercial, somebody has not agreed to your term, or somebody's turnover is not like that, or is not technically sound at all in doing this kind of job. Suppose you have said that you should have this many towers. I'm just giving an example of a mobile company. 1,000 towers in a span of this many square kilometers. Now they are only 200 towers. So technically he is not qualified. So you will have to reject it. So somebody may be rejected commercially on commercial conditions. Somebody may be rejected on the technical conditions. But there are so many vendors who will be techno-commercially qualified. Once they are techno-commercially qualified, means all tenderers are equal as long as the commercial terms and on the technical terms are concerned. Now, once that is over, we will not again inform all the tenderers saying that you are all the qualified people on techno-commercial and all everything, tender conditions are same everything. Now the price will be opened on such and such date and the time. So whoever is opting to be present, you may please be present. And we should have a tender opening committee, and then the same committee, or you can have a tender committee which is authorized to open the price bid also. Like they would open the techno-commercial bid. There will be another tender committee which will be opening the price bid, and then the comparison statement is made and the order is placed. So this is how normally the government organization works. So to your question, Mr. Vadivel, the techno-commercial bid, whoever has now quoted and then whoever got it, so they would have gone through all this commercially conditions of the government as well as the technical conditions of the government. They should have fulfilled, then only they will be eligible for participating in the tender to open the price bid. Once the price bid is open, then whoever is the L1 or whatever is the government fixed price, whatever, that is a different mechanism. Like in the contract, whoever has given you more percentage of discount, then they get the order. Government contract, they give the estimate and they say that you please quote how much you will do below the estimate. Many of the government contracts and some companies follow the same thing. This is how it happens. So tender submission, and we will just discuss the tender opening next immediately. But then since you asked this question, I thought I will answer this. Any other point, Vadivel, or you need more clarification?
No, sir, this is sufficient. We will continue, sir.
Okay. So what this is what was on the tender submission.